Hello and welcome everyone back to episode 3 live at Moon. But before we jump into today's episode, take a quick look at this video. And we're back. And yes, what an exciting day it is today. Just before we jump in again, we will have a Q&A session after this episode. Et aussi pour nos amis en français, si vous avez des questions en français, ça va nous faire le plaisir pour vous répondre en français aujourd'hui. So, today, as you saw in the video, we're joined again by Dominique Poupart.
Hi, everyone.
The product manager here at Moon. And again, I'm your host, Devin. And some people have been wondering, who is Devin? Well, I am actually the project manager here at Moon. And it's been an awesome time and experience. And the fact I get to do this live with you guys once a month, too, is just amazing. The products are fantastic. But enough about me. Let's just jump into it. We've been waiting for eons for this. Dominique, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Devin. So I'm super excited today because all this week I've been, speaking about this new exciting project that I've been working on for actually several years. And finally, the launch happens. And so today we're here to speak about that.
And the official launch was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, May 5th, of the Moon's very first loudspeakers, the Voice 22, as you can see right here. So Dominique, let's just jump right into it. So why did we think of creating our own loudspeakers?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And that dates back when we launched the ACE, our all-in-one music player. And we call this the all-in-one, and its name ACE, a complete experience. And in our mindset of electronic manufacturer, it made sense that a unit that provides the network player, the preamp, up to the amp, was a complete system, a complete experience. But what we've soon realized by customer request was, well, you speak about a complete experience, but in fact, it's not totally complete. I need loudspeakers. Which is the best speaker to go with the ACE?
And I do know for a fact that a lot of the questions is when people go and look at the ACE, it's like, which loudspeakers work best with the ACE?
Yes, we've got that question so often. Yeah. And I know this is the type of question that may not come from more experienced audiophile or more knowledgeable audiophiles, because they've been, going into the dealers and on the internet, and they know a lot about other brands of loudspeakers, and they're familiar with that, and they may prefer brand A, brand B, and they're very happy with this. But we are striving in the last few years to also bring back people from outside the audiophile circle to try and listen to, our sound system. And then for these people, they needed more, confidence. And so they were always asking, which is the best speaker to go to the ACE? And so we've decided we would create our own voice. So that was the beginning of the idea to start working on what became the Voice 22.
Yeah, it's great. As you can see, we even have set up here, we have an ACE right here beside us, alongside. So this is technically the complete system now. This is amazing. And I know I was super excited when I first came on board to the team, and we're talking about the Voice 22s and this and that. I'm like, this is really cool. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people think this way, and you'll see in our marketing it'll very often be presented as a complete system. Now the ACE with the Voice 22. Yeah, we're super excited about showing this to you today and answering your question you may have.
Oh, we're definitely going to get into some juicy details about this. So let's start off by saying, what makes the Voice 22 unique? Because we have, as you mentioned, there are a lot of loudspeakers out there, but what makes ours like stand out? Like,
yeah, it's a very good question, and it's something that needs to be very explained in more details, because once you look at the speaker, you may think, oh, okay, it's a two-way bookshelf loudspeakers that look very much alike other two-way bookshelf loudspeakers. But in reality, there are a lot of clever and innovative idea inside of those Voice 22 speakers.
Okay, cool.
Yes, like, well, let's first start with what we see, like, for example, the drivers. So if we have a look at the tweeter, it's a very high-quality driver, of course, in which I have been working myself and other expert in acoustic and in driver, having this as a specialty in their engineering profile. And so we can see that it's been designed in such a way that it gets its waveguide. So the shape of the waveguide controls the directivity of the tweeter, and it also provides a time alignment between the drivers. And so typical tweeters, they have a front plate in along the dome.
Yep.
But in case of this waveguide, it's it's integrated with the dome. So a lot of engineering went into this to make sure it is a super high quality tweeter that provides this clarity. And also the waveguide has been designed not just as part of the driver, but part of the whole loudspeaker to control its directivity, its proximity also with the other driver, because you can look here, the way it has been also made. It's made also to consider the proximity of the two drivers as well. So it's really part of the design. It's not just like a nice shape like this.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, this looks nice, let's do it this way. There was actually a lot of thought put behind this and a lot of engineering calculations. And
absolutely. And so about the woofer, well, of course, it's a very high quality driver that provides a very low deep bass and also a high quality mid-range. It has a cast aluminum basket. It has vented magnets. It uses a copper-clad aluminum wire for reduced moving mass. A lot of high-quality things that you could find only on very high-quality drivers that has been put into the design of these speakers. So everything is made exclusively for the Voice 22.
wow.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like the outside features now and all that. We can also go a bit about the colors too, the designs. The two colors that we have are the two colors that are available.
Yeah, what you see here is available in black and white. It's a very glossy piano-like finish.
It actually looks like I'm looking at a piano keys right now. It's so nice. You have to see, once you see them in person, you're gonna be like, yeah, those are sweet. Those will look great in my house.
But so if we continue inside.
Inside, this is where I know what's coming up. This is cool.
Then there's this very clever thing that I've called CGD, and it is a patent pending technology. And CGD stands for curved groove damping. And what it is, it's a curved groove inside the cabinet that makes the distance along the panel to be always different on any surface. So it limits the panel resonances. What you see now on the screen is the empty groove. But this groove gets filled with a thick, soft, and rubbery material that dampens the vibration.
Okay.
And so it allows to have a cabinet that is very inert. So it provides a, it doesn't color the sound, because if your cabinet is not inert enough, it's going to color the sound in some ways, right? So this is a patent pending technology to, creates a very high quality cabinets that it's something you don't see from the outside.
Yeah.
But it's actually working to make sure that the sound is,
Yes, I've seen inside several different types of loudspeakers, the cabinets themselves, and I can honestly say it's the first time I've seen one with like these grooves inside in them.
Oh yeah.
It's something else. It's really, really neat. I'm excited. Like the whole thing is just so exciting. So there's also a kind of a unique feature on here, which kind of, I don't know if you guys can see this, but my finger is actually right under the speaker right now. It looks like it's hovering.
Absolutely. So
what's this?
It's called the hover base, and so what it is, it's a panel. I can show you one here. So it's removable from the speaker. It's made this way, and underneath there's this portion where it is poron. So this absorbs vibration. So it has several advantages to the Voice 22 because you know, it's a bookshelf speaker. And I had this idea because most bookshelf speakers, they have a flat surface underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you really want to put it on a shelf or on any type of furniture, what happens is you have a hard surface against a hard surface, and they're rarely perfectly matched. So you end up with micro vibrations and all these type of things. And you may also, you know, scratch the furniture and everything.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to have, since it's a bookshelf speaker, something that makes this very nice appearance, because the speaker appears to be floating beyond the table. But also when you put the speaker on the furniture, you're not going to damage it because you have this nice soft material. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it even improves the sound to some extent because the speaker is really, you know, damped in its place, and it's not going to move and rock around. Like, because, you know,
yeah.
Well, now the table is actually
the table is actually wobbly, not the speaker.
Yeah, we had to make a trick to make the proper height, so that's what happens. But yeah, so that's the overbase, and it's removable because if you want to use the speaker on stand, because you have, you know, big enough room to properly installed on stand, then you have the stand 22 that we don't see much in here because, you know, the lighting is not necessarily perfect, but it's dedicated stand. And it is painted with a black Santex finish, which is the same paint as the one you see in our, you know, our product, so it match. And it comes with different type of spikes. So you have spikes for carpet, and you also have rubber feet, so you can go on both type of flooring. So this stands allows to extract the maximum performance from the Voice 22, and also for a nicer view, the top plate of the stand actually fits right into the empty opening left by the overbase if you removed it.
So basically, it's a flush fit, so you're not seeing the stand at all. It's like literally like it looks like it's integrated into the speaker.
Exactly. So it makes an uncluttered appearance. Like the speaker is just there. So
I'm just curious, where did you actually get the idea of the hover base? I think hover, I'm thinking Back to the Future. Of course, that's my more geeky side there, like the hoverboards.
Well, the name. The idea came because we just wanted to, you know, to solve this problem that most bookshelf speaker had. But the name Overbase was actually inspired by, just as you said, because we didn't know exactly how to call it, but the Overbase made sense in this
Good old
case.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Oh my God! So we talked about like obviously we mentioned that you mentioned that the Ace and what is also like the perfect speakers to go with the Ace for like a complete kit, and now we have the offering of the Voice 22. But other types of models, what other kind of models would we look at that would compare, that would not compare, but that would paired with match? What are some other models that are good?
Well, they go very well with the Ace, of course. And before I completely answer your question, I'll mention that in the specification, the Voice 22 are, you know, nominal impedance of 6 ohm, which is a little bit unusual. Most speakers are either 8 or 4. But actually, the impedance curve is actually varying a lot with frequencies, and this is normal for speaker. But still, the average of this Voice 22 is nominal is 6 ohm, and there's a reason for that. And this is to allow to extract the most power from the Ace, at the same time not getting too much current out of the Ace so that it stays in its comfort zone at the same time.
Okay.
So it's really made to give the best out of the Ace. Nevertheless, the speakers are good enough, well, more than good enough, but so good that you can use it with higher pedigree amplifier than the Ace. Like, for example, you can use them with the 340i in our lineup, or also with 330A, for example. Combo 390, 330A. Those speakers, they benefit from the added power. They can handle it. And they benefit also from the added finesse that better amplifier than the Ace can provide. So you can use them with pretty much any of these amp in our series. It could also work with even higher model from our range, but then it would get a little bit not logical because it wouldn't fit too much in price range. Yeah, so that's about it.
Great. I've actually heard what they sound like, and these things are marvelous. They got such a nice sound, and it's even got like that sweet spot. If you have it set up properly, it still delivers that kind of like that sweet spot in the room there.
Yeah, well, I get what you mean, and it was part of the design of the speaker and its waveguide, by the way, because one of the design goal was to have a very wide sweet spot.
Okay.
Because since it's intended not just to audiophile, but every music lover, the idea was to have this very wide sweet spot in such a way that you don't need to be standing right at the perfect place to have the best sound quality. You can be really offset and you still have imaging and you still have that nice clarity. And this is because of the nice dispersion and the very low frequency cutout of the crossover, which I have forgotten to speak to you about. So
you actually have some things with you right there you can actually show, which is really cool.
I had forgotten, but I have here one crossover sample. So it's a very, very high quality crossover that is used in the Voice 22. And especially for the price range at which the Voice 22 are sold, typically you don't find such high quality crossover. I mean, speaking of parts, but of course, being an electronic manufacturer, we couldn't, hold ourselves back and make a ordinary crossover. So it's very high-end, using very high-end parts, such as metallized polypropylene cap, and also air core inductors. So it's a very, very high-quality crossover with dual-layer PCB. So very, very high quality, and something that is unusual. The frequency is at 1.5 kilohertz. So for people more knowledgeable, it's fairly low. It's unusually low. And everything with regards to speaker is always some kind of compromise. Nothing's perfect, you know. Most people tend to use much higher frequency, but we've decided, and it's part of the integral design of the speaker, to allow this super dispersion to have this low cutout, because the woofer never starts to beam really. In many two-way design, what happens is the crossover frequency is so high that the frequency, the end of the range of the woofer, the woofer beams. And then when it's switched to the tweeter, you have super wide directivity. So you have a strange behavior when you are offset from the speaker.
Okay.
In the case of the Voice 22, the low crossover point and the waveguide allows to have, you know, the same kind of sound, even when you're really, really offset of the loudspeaker. Hence, this idea of having a very wide sweet spot in where you can listen, you know, with your friends. You don't need to be single right in the middle of the room. You can be three friends listening to the thing, and you all three of you are going to hear the same thing, you know. So that was part of the design of the Voice 22.
Like I said, they're really cool. Also, when we look at loudspeakers, normally we see them like as we see like this as is, but are there grills available?
Yes, of course. I'd almost forgot they have a magnetic grill, so it's super easy. You just put it like this,
and poof, it's gone.
And then the speaker disappears in our black background. Stop the kidding. And yeah, so it's magnetic, so it holds in place. It's very typical for high-end speaker, but you know, it's there. It's, you know, some don't include grills.
So they are included with
of course,
the speakers.
it's included. The only thing that's not included, the stands themselves are optional, so it's really up to the customer to decide, is he going to put it on shelf or on dedicated stands. So
well, they look good either way. I love the floating aspect. I love the way it looks like it's hovering. And I also love them on the stands themselves and the way it looks like it's flush. It looks like it's actually one piece. The design is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you guys did it again. I know we weren't supposed to turn them around, but I'm sure there's some people that probably want to see the connections in the back, like what kind of connections we got going on here.
if you want.
If you don't mind. Like, this is great. So, for those of you wondering, the connectors, Dominic?
Yeah, well, there's, typical high-quality binding post. So you can use it with spades, with banana, with empty wire. Well, not empty, but how do you say this in English when they're cropped?
Okay.
I forgot the expression, but anyway, it's a typical thing you can use. And it has this dual flared port also that we can see here. So it's flared on the outside and it's flared inside as well. This reduces air turbulence.
Okay.
So this is a high quality design in every possible aspect.
So yeah, this is great. So Moon can officially say that we have our own voice now.
Yeah, exactly. We have our own voice, so we offer a complete system.
And the ACE really can stand for now.
Now it's a complete experience because from the streaming capability to the real acoustic output of a speaker, you have a complete system. So
also, what our products are renowned for too is the warranties on our products. Like we have, like everyone knows, all of our products have like a 10-year warranty.
Right.
What about the speakers?
Oh, it's 10-year warranty as well.
Also 10 years?
Yeah, yeah.
You can't get much better than that. Standing behind their products. So right now, the launch date was yesterday. So when can people start expecting to see them like hit?
Well, depends where you are in the world. But actually, we already started shipping to our distribution network and our dealers, but we've just started. So depending on your preferred Moon dealer, they might have it already or they might have it soon. But we're, as a manufacturer, already shipping. So,
and again, if you want to find out where you can find the nearest dealer near you, you can always visit our website at simaudio.com. You can find out all the partners in your region and so forth. And I'm sure they're just as excited to show them off and show you how they work so well with our stuff. Well, Dominic, it's been a huge, huge week for us. The launching the Voice 22s, we were all excited. And so on that note, we're going to switch over to you, the audience. I hope you guys had your time to start preparing your questions. So now's the time. Aussi, si vous avez des questions en français, ça va nous faire le plaisir que Dominique va vous répondre en français aussi pour nos amis ici, nos amis francophones. So we are going to go with our first question. Question 1. Are the stands hollow to allow for filling with stands?
With sands, I guess.
I guess sands, yeah.
Yes, it is. You can put sand or also, how do you call this in English? Cat litter?
Yep.
It's one of the best thing you can put inside. And I've heard some people saying you can also put cement, but this is something I would warn against. Because even if it's maybe a bit heavier, there's still humidity in there and it's not so good because it's steel. So cat litter or sand, it's a really good idea. And so the stands are shipped, not assembled, for shipping cost. It makes sense. So you have the top plate, the bottom plate, and the center pillar. So yes, you can put the sand inside before putting the top plate, and you'll get an even better sound. It's a very good idea.
Thank you, Joseph Greenham. That was a question from Joseph.
That's a good idea.
Thank you so much for that question. We got another question from John Hitterbrand. How well these would do placed very close to the wall or in a bookcase? That's a good question.
That's another good question, and I had forgotten to mention, there's so many things, we're live, so we also include, with the Voice 22, a cylinder of foam that you slightly compress and you insert into the back panel port. And so it cuts out a little the bass and also the air going. So you can easily put them very close to a wall. Of course, it's not ideal in the sense that ideal placement is without this plug and a feet or two at least in front of the wall, not in the corner. But we understand, and this is precisely why we worked so hard on the Voice 22 to allow some kind of flexibility. And so if you want to use them very close to a wall, you can use the foam plug. You close the port this way and it works nicely.
Cool. Actually, Joseph has got another question for us. Will there be a frequency response chart shown for these?
Well, not today.
Not today,
This is
obviously.
something we could. And I'm sure you will be able to see many of them, not necessarily coming from us. But so it'll show you we have nothing to hide about this. But I know that at our soundstage, for example,
yep.
Maybe you may have seen they have put online very nice video. They came to the factory and we showed them the Voice 22 and they make very nice video, very informative. And I know that they are in the process of reviewing the loudspeakers as well.
Yep.
And they are going to measure a lot of details about this frequency response and everything. So just go on Soundstage. And there will be others as well. I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, actually, the press that we've been getting has been phenomenal. We had stuff from like Soundstage. Obviously, if you want to see the video, go to their YouTube channel on Soundstage. We had articles in Forbes. We had articles like all over the
Forbes,
place.
Yeah,
it was just.
It's fun that you speak about Forbes because, of course, typical audiophile magazine will want to review the first Moon speakers, but also magazines outside the audio circle industry as well. So that's quite fun, and I'm sure there will be more reviews to come. It's just that we had limited availability of loudspeaker at the time that to send to some magazines, but we will be delivering more. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to see measurements of the loudspeaker, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, we have another question from John. Any plans for larger speakers, mini towers? That's a good question, and
that's a good question for which we don't have a very clear answer. And the main reason is it'll depend also on what happened with the Voice 22. That's a full, honest answer. I mean, if we have a huge success with the Voice 22, of course we will be tempted to work again on maybe a bigger version, or not a version, but a bigger loudspeaker. If only people, it really depends on the success of the Voice 22, but for sure we're tempted to make more. I certainly am. I have a lot of fun working doing this, but it'll depend on the success of the Voice 22, and so you might see other Moon speakers in the future. It will depend on the...
So it's all to be determined, but the goal for this one here, if I can recap from what we talked about, was really to offer a complete system.
Exactly.
Mostly for those who are new into the culture, who want to explore, and they want to know what goes good with what. So this way we have something that we're offering for the new ones that would love to introduce themselves. Like, they might be audiophiles and they don't even know it yet. So
yeah, absolutely. So
it's a great introduction. I, for one, think this is a brilliant idea, and I love the fact that now we can actually say the ACE really stands for ACE.
Yeah, complete experience. Okay.
So, if there's any other questions, you can ask now. If not, you can always look up on our website again at simaudio.com. All of our information there. We've also put up all the product regarding the ACE and the information. And also you can find out the nearest retailer near you, one of our local partners in your area. As soon as they get them, you can call them up saying, hey, did you get the new Voice 22s in? And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to share their new experience. It's going to be an new experience for all of us, actually. So we're all like super excited to see these get out there. And those of you overseas in the European or who do plan on traveling in May, we're actually going to be back at the high-end show in Munich from May 19th to 22nd. That's
right.
Going to be awesome. And we will have a pair
definitely
of Voice 22s on display where we are super excited to show you what they can do and what years of work and hard work, and especially with Dominic and his team. Again, outdoing yourself. I applaud you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. So that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. You might see us maybe live from Germany. If not, we will definitely be doing a recap, and we have a guest lined up for that show for the end of this month. And then, of course, we're back in June where we have a really special guest. I'm super excited for this one, too. So anyways, that's our show. Thanks again, guys. Anything, you can email us, talk to your local partners, and that wraps it up for today. So have yourselves a good evening, good night, or wherever you are, and keep on listening. Ciao.